Very good evening, my children. So, today, as we discussed in the morning, we will try to learn the case study based concepts from our chapter 3. Now, chapter 3 meeting life challenges basically it's a part of the health psychology. So, we will see what kind of case studies, competency based questions, CBQs are possible in this chapter. So, let us understand the first case study one. The title is The New Employee. Sarah, a recent college graduate, has just started her first job at a fast-paced marketing agency. The workload is intense, deadlines are tight, and her colleagues seems to have everything under control. She feels overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks and is constantly worried about making mistakes. She often stays late but finds herself procrastinating, which only adds to her stress. At home, she finds it hard to relax and often rehashes the day's events, making it difficult to fall asleep. So, this is the case study for us. Now, see the three questions which I selected here. What are the primary sources of stress here? We need to understand. The primary sources. Identify the potential maladaptive coping strategy Sarah is using. Why it is maladaptive? What is the coping strategy? What stress management techniques could you recommend to help Sarah to cope up more effectively? These are the three questions. Let us understand from the case study. The first case study is the hassles. First question you see here, first is hassles. The primary source of stress. Hassles are what exactly the things which are happening in our day-to-day life. Very often, frequently we are going through like the daily problems, routine things, the intense workload. When you are an employee, definitely intense workload is a hassle. Deadlines will be there, key situational stressors, perceived pressure, and you see here it is the feeling of being overwhelmed and the worry about making mistakes. These are cognitive stressors actually. Social comparison, comparing herself to her seemingly in control colleagues contributes to her stress. You see, when you try to compare yourself, it's another problem actually. Hassles means routine events. Whatever she is experiencing in the working environment, those are actually the hassles. Hassles are the main source of stress. Now, what is the maladaptive coping strategy? Procrastination. It's like postponements. Maladaptive strategy, because while it might provide temporary relief from the stressful task, as I told to you, avoidance is a maladaptive strategy. Procrastination is a maladaptive coping strategy. It gives you some time relaxation. Today you will skip the work, you will feel happy. But in the long run, you need to complete the work and you have to do this work. That's the reason procrastination, avoidance, these are maladaptive. These are good in the short period of time, but in the long run, these are big disasters. Now, what is the stress management technique? As a psychologist, you can use. See, you can use the time management for her. You can go for mindfulness based meditation. Actually, meditation basically increases the energy level in the mind and the body, and also it leads to good it leads to a good amount of relaxation, the meditation basically. So we can go for the time management, like the time management technique like Pomodoro technique is generally one technique. Basically we use your working. Pomodoro technique is basically working in focused intervals with short breaks. You should make your timetable. Even my children, when you are preparing for your class 12, you should follow this intervals with the short breaks. Mindfulness meditation, physical activity, regular exercise, even a short walk can reduce the stress hormones and improves the mood actually. Social support, encouraging her to talk to trusted colleague. So she is a newcomer, so she should have good relation with other people who are working in the same company. See, social support actually is three types we discuss: physical support, emotional support, tangible support. So here the social support also one of the important method of managing the stress for Sarah. And this is the first case. The second case, the sandwich generation. What is sandwich generation means? It's not the people who eat the sandwich. Many times the children are thinking that sandwich generation means we eat the sandwich. No. The generation which is actually one side taking care of their own parents, another side they are taking care of their own children, you see. Means they are just getting pressed, means both the sides. One side the wishes and needs of the parents, second side the wishes and the needs of their own children. In between those people who struggle. So Maria is a 45-year-old mother of two teenagers and is also the primary caregiver of her elderly mother who lives with her. Her days are a constant juggle of managing her children's school, social, emotional needs, her own full time job as a project manager, and her mother's medical appointment and the daily care. She feels a constant sense of pressure and guilt, feeling like she is not doing enough for anyone. She's been experiencing frequent headaches and muscle tension, and recently she's been more irritable with her family. See the cases. Based on the scenario, what type of stress Maria is experiencing? What are its main sources? First thing. What coping strategies Maria likely employing, both adaptive and maladaptive? Suggest two specific stress management techniques for Maria. Let's go to the answers here what I made. Maria is experiencing chronic stress due to long-term ongoing demands of her sandwich generation role actually. This is, I can say, the life event it is. Basically a life event it is. It's not a hassle. It's a life event. Because she is struggling with her mother, with her job basically and hassle, with the mother role. See, she is playing the major roles here. Major incidents are basically life events. And the sources of stress, you see, hassles we can say here, the routine like works, basically multiple roles you can take, but the life event is basically the mother side, I will say. Remaining all will go to hassles you take here. Caregiver burden is there, and juggling multiple roles is a significant source of role strain. Caregiver burden, emotional physical demands of caring the elderly parent, emotional strain is there here, internal stressors. Now what are the copings? Don't forget that here I told you people the life event and hassle both will come here, my children. I didn't write the answer here. So the life event, why we are calling major event it is. Basically the elderly people, old age people, when we take care, we are struggling, those areas basically. But it will be there for some time. That is the area. What are the coping strategies she is using? See, increased irritability could be a sign of emotion focused coping, where she is lashing out due to her stress rather than addressing the root cause. She might also be neglecting her own. See, emotion focused coping. So look into these two coping strategies. Basically she is using Lazarus and Folkman's coping strategies. The emotion focused and problem focused coping, both the two she is using here. She is likely using some problem focused coping, and also you see emotion focused coping she is using, and neglecting her own needs, which is a form of avoidance. So what are the stress management? You see, boundary setting and delegation is needed here for her. First off, she should understand there should be a boundary between each and every role. As a caregiver, as a project manager, as a mother, she have to set the boundaries for each and every role. Self-care, scheduling non-negotiable time for herself, even if it's just 30 minutes a day, is crucial. So she have to take care, because she is struggling between the three things. So if she is not able to take care of herself, she will easily become sick, and this situation will make her to experience more problems in personal life. This is a vital emotion focused technique that helps replenish her emotional resources and prevents burnout. Deep breathing exercises she can practice. Actually the various breathing practices are there. Box breathing is there, pranayama is there. She have to practice some breathing exercise. Actually deep breathing basically reduces the stress in our day-to-day life. It's a very important concept. Don't forget, she's experiencing the stress. Basically it's the hassles coming from her different roles. She's experiencing this a routine. At the same time, certain things are major events in life. She had to take care of an elderly mother. That's basically a life event. Now, case study. A student's semester. Alex is a diligent university student, starts a new semester with a heavy course load. At first, he is energized and motivated, tackling assignments with enthusiasm and planning his study schedule meticulously. This lasts for the first few weeks, and he feels sharp and focused despite the long hours. As the semester progresses, the workload intensifies with midterms and multiple projects due to at the same time he begins to feel a constant sense of pressure. He finds it difficult to concentrate, and he's been feeling run down and getting sick more often. He starts to lose interest in his usual hobbies, and his sleep is consistently poor. By the end of the semester, as he prepares for final exam, Alex feels completely exhausted. He is emotionally drained. His grades have started to slip and he feels detached from his friends. He thinks about taking a break from the school altogether. Now, how do the three stages of Hans-Seele's general adaptation syndrome we can apply to this Alex experience? You see, it's a very creative question, my children. Alarm reaction, you see here. Seele's theory. Seele is the father of modern stress research. You all are now knowing this. Alarm reaction is basically beginning of the semester. Alex is experiencing the fight or flight. Resistance. It is in the middle of the semester. Alex's body attempts to cope up with the prolonged stress. He seems to be handling the increased workload, but at a cost. His body's resources are being used to maintain the high stress. Exhaustion. The last stage it is, I can say to you people, my children. Exhaustion is basically the last stage number it is, I can say. So in exhaustion, what actually the physical, emotional, psychological resources are going to get drained out. And you see here, exhaustion refers to, it's basically a kind of burnout you are going to experience here. So this is the three stages you can apply here. What physiological and psychological signs indicate Alex is in the resistance and exhaustion stages, you see. What actually is physiological is frequent sickness, feeling run down. Psychological is difficulty to concentrate, loss of interest in hobbies. These are all basically indicating that he is in the stage of resistance. Exhaustion, you see, complete exhaustion it is. Complete exhaustion. Potentially more severe health issues the person is experiencing in the physiological. And the psychological, if you see, emotional drainage, feeling detached from friends, impaired performance, and thoughts of giving up, you see. These are all basically indicating the exhaustion stage. What is the response to major stressor during the exhaustion, you see here? According to general adaptation syndrome, if Alex is experiencing major stressor during the exhaustion stage, he would be highly vulnerable and unable to cope effectively. If he is during this process is experiencing a major stressor, it will be highly difficult for him and he will be unable to cope up effectively. His body's stress response system is already depleted, meaning he would not have the physiological or psychological resources to mount a strong defense. He is already suffering with the exhaustion. In this context, a major stressor is coming. It will be very, very difficult for him to cope up. So this is the last case study, beta. I hope the questions and answers are very clear to you. I just revised to you, and I already shared these papers to you people. You can refer, my children, and I will try to do the one more exercise with you people, guys. Take care and God bless you.